The people of Fourth Estate, welcome to the Law SC, Street Corridors. Street means the street, corridors means corridors of justice. Nikiweka Biblia chini hivi, those were the words of our current president, the Commander-in-Chief, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And you see, many things have happened from 2017 to 2022. Lots of campaign, lots of promises, very many things were said. And what's happening? We have seen the appointment of CAS, right? In what has happened in the recent past. And now, in this particular episode, we're not going to go anywhere. Regardless of what is going in the country, we're going to discuss the appointment of cabinet administrative secretaries in the government. Are they really necessary? Was the government really interested in appointing them? Did they hoodwink the government in appointing them now that they were the politicians who have been appointed there? Or was it right for the president to appoint them at this time when the country is going through tough times? And let's go through this. We are going to discuss two segments of this one. Segment number one, we are going to discuss the political part of it, and again we'll go to the issue of the law. What does the law say? Is it really right? Is it really legal? Is it really constitutional for this particular secretaries, CAS, to be nominated in the government? Was the right procedure really followed? So those are things that we're going to look at. And number one, let's go to politics. From 2017 to 2022 and around 2022. And in between there was an issue of BBI. And the BBI was brought by the outgoing president with the current opposition leader. And you find the Kenya Kwanza in their cocoon, they really fought that particular BBI. And you see it was thrown out. And you realize that very many things that were in that particular Building Bridge initiative, the BBI, has been implemented by this government in terms of leadership. And why am I saying that has been implemented this government in terms of leadership? Some of the things that were discussed in political rallies, like our president promised us that they were for bottom up, elevating this economy from Mama Mboga going up to the people who are the economically stable in the country. And several occasions, he said that his government will not be for positions. His government will be for the people, elevating people who are the lower level. The question is, has this really happened from what the president promised? And from what has been happening, was it really necessary, or is it really necessary for the government to continue making appointments when the country or the economy is at the blink? Is it really right for that to happen? And if we go to check on the issues that the government promised during their campaign, it is now very clear that out of 99.9% of what this government promised, they have not been able to achieve. Maybe because of time, maybe because of other factors that is well known to them, but the fact that this government have not been able to achieve 90% of what they promised Kenyans during campaigns. And it is very clear, the cost of living is very high. The normal dollar that when they came to power was at around 112, 115 is now almost 150 or 45. Fuel that was at low is right now at 177. Actually, I'm told they added 2 shillings. The unga is now at 238. Cooking oil has gone up, that was 800, now it's 1,000 around something. Kenya Power, the tokens. The other day I was consulting one of my friends, checking the data that he bought, the Kenya Power the tokens that he bought on August 2nd. At 500, he managed to get 31 units. But when she did that the other day, she only managed to get 24 or 25. What has really happened? It means the cost of living has gone up. Can we say that this government has come into power, has now changed everything otherwise? Are we saying that the government is doing these things upside down instead of bottom up? They're doing trickle down in terms of the empowering people who are up so that they can empower people who are down. Because as per what we have seen, we've not seen any Mboga appointed to the government. We have not seen any border person given the opportunity. We have only seen political rewards. So the entire thing, it has been political. It has not been to the elevation of a common manage. So Kenyans should be aware that what the government has done until now, and everyone is suffering, is a very common issue. So this appointing of this CAS, is it really right? Is it really legal? Is it really necessary? The answer is it is not necessary. Our constitution talks about the duplication of roles of cabinet secretaries. So now that we are talking about cabinet administrative secretaries, what are their roles at the constitution? Is it really necessary for them to be nominated or to be given these particular jobs? And now let's go to what the constitution says. The constitution says, as per Article 132.4, that the president may. Let me explain to you what may is. May is on the probability the president may or may not. And you see, this appointment did not start today. Just to bring you to pace, this thing started in the government of President Uhuru. He tried appointing this particular cabinet administrative secretaries, and it was rejected by court, and he stopped. And even when this government came to power in 2022, at I think around October, within that time, they advertised. What they did, that they advertised, normal procedure was followed, everything was done, and the LSK went to court, questioning the capacity of Public Service Commission being in a position to question the government whether they have funds. So though the case was dismissed, that's where we are right where we are. But the question is, may. Let's go back to may. The president may. It means the president may not. The president may not based on how the economy is running. The president may not based on how common management is going. The president may not based on how Mboga is suffering. The president may not because he has the interest of Kenyans. But the president may, when he doesn't care about the economy, when he doesn't care about the cost of living, when he doesn't care about the common mananchi, when he doesn't care about all these Kenyans. And you see, the constitution says from 132 that the president may, at any time, feel to appoint, can appoint, with consultation with the Public Service Commission, any other government officer in office that he feels like. So I think, and when the normal procedure has been followed, and you see when LSK went to court to try to stop these appointments, they realized that all the legal process was followed. I think the president, the president consulted the Public Service Commission, and the normal procedure of hiring a public service was followed, whereby advertisement were done, people made applications, normal interviews were done, whether there were 2 or 3, but they were done for the purposes of this. And you find that legally everything was done well. So appointing these people, it is a choice from the president. It is not illegal, but it is a choice from the president because the president may. And at this point, with the current economy, was the president in the main thing? Was it for the interest of Kenyans? I think it was not for the interest of Kenyans, because common mananchi is suffering. If you look the cost of having this CAS, it has a very big impact. It's almost over 340 million per financial year. Per year, not even per year. Is it really necessary? Because when people are now dying of hunger, is it really necessary when we don't have food? Is it really necessary when we don't have power? Is it really necessary when we can't drive? Is it really necessary when we don't have gas? It is not necessary. So this government, in other words, it has done things opposite of what they promised. The bottom up that they promised has turned to trickle down. This trickle down government that they are now employing into us was what Azimio is having. So we can say tentatively that the government of Kenya Kwanza is operating in the clause of the government of Azimio, whereby they're implementing everything that was in the BBI, but indirectly. And you see, we've seen that one several times, even when the Prime Cabinet Office was established. Remember, this government saying that it is not for positions, it is for common management. But what we have seen, it has been for positions, because the people that we have elected, we have nominated, that were gazetted the other day, we don't know where they're going to work. We don't know what their roles. So whether they're going, because these are like interns of the future cabinet secretaries. It means the government is training future cabinet secretaries. So maybe they might be alternating in between. But legally, these people are rightful in the office. But economically, under the will of the people, it is completely wrong. It is completely unethical. It is completely not politically right. It is completely uneconomical for a president in a country that is bleeding, for a president in a country that the dollar is down, for a president in a country whereby we are trading fuel on credit from United Arab Emirates. We are suffering. Basically, we are suffering. We don't have enough reserves. We are suffering. So this president in this appointment, he really needs to think. And actually, now that he has done it, I think was not right. And you see, just to mention other issues, and you see, I'm just wondering what's really happening, because in this appointment, the president is doing this appointment in the midst of opposition calling for mass action. And some of the issues that opposition have raised for the mass action are really covered in this appointment, whereby you see in that appointment, the two-third gender rule has not been met. We have more men than women. We don't have disabled, apart from Wazak Maura, that we can't say that even is a very special case because we're having women albinos. In terms of people who are disabled, we are not seeing any in that appointment. So it means this government has really shot itself in the leg. If they don't realize, it will not be easy for them to retain this government from 2027. This might be their last chance to be in the government because people are suffering in their hands. And if things continue the way they are, I don't think that Kenyans will be able to sustain the expenditure of this government to 2027. So, mwananchi wa kawaida, be informed that what the government is doing right now, from appointment, from anything, this government has no interest of yours. Focus on yourself, work hard. Things are about to get tougher, and it will not calm down anytime soon. And even the demonstrations that are being done will not change things. The appointment of the CS is long gone. That is poured water. It was legal, and that's the end of it. It is true that your president does not care about your welfare. That is why you are buying Unga at 340. It is true that the president does not care about your welfare. That's where you as Mama Mboga, you are still with the t-shirt of Mama Mboga for 2027, for 2022 until now. So I think Kenyans, let's be sober. That issue, we are going to sort it at that point. At the street corridors, we say thank you. This is where we meet you. This is where we give you issues. This is where we interact with you. We tell you what you don't want to hear. And now you know that your president doesn't care about you. So we don't care. Check it out.